A police cruiser races through Chicago at night to the hospital after an officer is shot. Surgeons hustle him into theater and summon Paul, the hospital's top surgeon. Paul rushes but arrives too late. The cop dies. Next morning, Paul eats breakfast with his wife Lucy and daughter Jordan, who's just been accepted to college in New York. They head to Jordan's soccer match where Paul and Lucy cheer, but a loud, aggressive dad ruins it. Paul asks him to quiet down. The man explodes and nearly becomes violent. Lucy intervenes and drags Paul away. The man calls Paul a coward. After the game, the family meets Paul's brother Frank for pizza. Paul agrees to lend Frank 2 grand. Frank mocks his pay. The valet Miguel overhears and notices the family will be away that night, so he photographs the Satin AV address when he retrieves the car. That evening, the family prepares for Paul's birthday. They gift him an expensive watch, but Paul gets called back to the hospital and must postpone the celebration. Lucy and Jordan shop for groceries and return to find a suspicious van nearby. Jordan phones her girlfriend while Lucy bakes a cake, unaware someone lurks behind a door. A closed window moves. Lucy finds muddy footprints. She shouts for Jordan, but a robber hidden in the bathroom seizes her as she tries to leave. They force Jordan downstairs and reveal 3 intruders who threaten to kill her if Lucy won't open the safe. The leader forces Lucy to empty valuables into a bag. In the kitchen, one robber tells another to put down a knife before searching for rope. Alone, the knife wielding man begins to harass Jordan. His partner returns with rope and scolds him. They argue. Jordan seizes the moment, grabs the knife, and slashes his face, but the other attacker strikes her down. Lucy returns with the third robber, throws boiling water at an attacker's face, and tells Jordan to run. The criminals start shooting. At the hospital, Paul hears of 2 incoming female patients. He tries to leave surgery, but other doctors bar him. When they finally update him, Lucy is dead and Jordan is in surgery. Paul goes to view Lucy's body and collapses in grief. Detectives Raines and Jackson question him and log the stolen items. Frank rails at police for ignoring local crime. Paul calms him. A nurse announces Jordan survived, but remains comatose. Paul stays by her side. Later, Lucy's father Ben speaks at her funeral. Driving home, he spots poachers, chases them, shoots at them, and then Mercy kills an injured deer. He tells Paul the police arrived too late, and sometimes men must act. Paul grows angry and sleepless, yelling at a homeless man and drifting through trains to think. He attends therapy, reads to Jordan, and drifts on the couch. Weeks pass with no leads. DNA doesn't match any database hits. Paul confronts Raines about the samples. One evening, he intervenes when 2 men harass a woman, and they beat him while the woman escapes. At home, he watches an ad for a gun shop and visits the next day. Paperwork and classes deter him, so he leaves. While working on a gunshot victim, Paul finds a gun fall from a patient. He kicks it under the table, pockets it later, and begins practicing alone after a failed first shot. His aim improves. Jordan suffers a seizure, and her prognosis worsens. Seeing her restrained and the killer's free breaks Paul. He takes the gun at night, hides under a hoodie, and walks into a rough neighborhood. When 2 men try to steal a woman's car, he confronts them. They shoot and flee, but Paul wounds the driver and later shoots the other man in the head after a firefight. A neighbor films the encounter. Paul finishes the killers, buries his hoodie, treats his wounds, and rides the train home. Detectives take statements. One witness posted the video online. The footage hides Paul's face but shows his injured hand. The clip goes viral and debates erupt. Vigilante or hero? The press dubs him the Grim Reaper. Paul tapes his injured hand and hides at work. He gently questions a young shooting victim and gets the address of a dealer called the Ice Cream Man, and Paul steals a hospital hoodie and kills the dealer on the street. Locals strip his card. Detectives note similarities to the viral footage and suspect the same left-handed shooter. The media and police worry copycats will strike. Paul's therapist praises his progress, unaware of his actions. At the hospital, Paul operates on Miguel, the valet, and recognizes Miguel's watch. Miguel dies on the table. Paul steals Miguel's phone and watch. unlocks the phone with Miguel's finger, and studies photos until he finds a liquor store fronting stolen goods. He chooses to investigate alone. Frank visits, and Paul hides his wounded hand. Paul heads to the liquor store wearing a hospital hoodie, lies that he's Miguel's friend, and watches the owner text an associate. Fish. When the owner reaches for a gun, Paul jams a bar into his hand, forces him to the back, and finds items stolen from his safe. Fish arrives, fires at Paul after spotting him on cameras, and accidentally kills the owner. Fish opens fire wildly. Paul ducks, reloading, then smashes Fish with a guitar and topples furniture. Fish flees. Paul shoots him in the leg, steps on him, and forces him to name Lucy's killer. Fish says a mechanic named Joe did it and that Knox is dangerous. Fish kicks Paul, a bowling ball falls, stunning Fish, and Paul shoots him. Paul seizes security drives, but drops his ring escaping. Paul drills to destroy the drives later. The Grim Reaper story explodes online. Anyone who saw the shooter goes viral. Detectives Rains and Jackson bring Fish's phone photos and Paul's ring. Paul claims the ring was stolen and helps them advance the case, then destroys Fish's phone. He breaks into Joe's garage, knocks Joe out with a wrench, ties him under a car, tortures him with injections, cuts, and brake fluid until Joe names Knox as Lucy's killer. Paul releases Joe but rigs the car to fall on him, killing him. Detectives, noting victims linked to Lucy's killers, want to see the shooter's hand. Paul sees copycats on the news and gets a call from Knox asking to meet at a club in 30 minutes. Frank, worried, breaks into Paul's basement and discovers ammunition and evidence. Paul is the Grim Reaper. At the packed club, Paul waits in a bathroom stall, calls Knox, and is ambushed when Knox bursts in using a civilian as a shield and starts a massacre. Paul fights back, is wounded, and shoots the power box. In the blackout, he slips away among panicked crowds. Detectives report the club shooting and bring Knox to the hospital as a victim witness. Knox implicates Paul, and the detectives go to Paul's office but find him absent. Paul hides in another hospital room, staples his wounds, then returns home to Frank's confrontation about his descent into madness. Detectives ring the bell. Frank lies that Paul's not there. Paul then receives word Jordan is awake and rushes to the hospital. He reunites with her, tells her Lucy is dead, and watches her breakdown. He promises Frank he'll stop the vigilante actions. Jordan recovers and is discharged. Detective question her, but she remembers nothing. Riding an elevator with Jordan, Knox enters and chats casually. Paul ignores him. Fearing Knox, Paul legally buys firearms. At night, Paul tells Jordan to hide under the stairs when he spots movement. Intruders hit dummy pillows and spring traps. Paul shoots one henchman in the head as he approaches, then surprises another in the bedroom, forcing him downstairs where Knox ambushes and shoots Paul in the shoulder. Jordan's scream distracts Knox long enough for Paul to flip a hidden panel, reveal a weapon, and kill Knox. When police arrive, Paul claims he sustained all injuries that night and bought the weapons legally after Jordan woke to protect her, promising to surrender them. Detectives doubt but accept the outcome. Later, Paul drives Jordan to college in New York. As he walks back to his car, he watches a man snatch a bellhop's bag and, on instinct, mimics a finger gun and calls him out.